Hello, we're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we are talking to the person who thinks their time has passed. We are here to tell you it is not too late. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. I used to think I missed my chance to be successful, but I learned that the best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time is right now.
That is such a powerful way to start, Abel, and we mean that truly. If you are listening to this right now, maybe you are sitting at home, maybe you are on a bus, maybe you are walking to work, and somewhere in the back of your mind, there is a small, quiet voice that says, I should have started sooner. We hear that voice too. Many people hear it. But today, we want to replace that voice with something stronger, something kinder, and something much more true.
Yes, and before we go any further, I want to say something directly to you. It is the year 2026, and the world is full of new chances. Technology is changing. Online learning is everywhere. You can learn English, start a business, travel, change careers, make new friends, and build a completely new life no matter how old you are. The world has never had more opportunities for people who are willing to try.
Let's talk about that word, opportunity. An opportunity is a chance to do something good or important. For example, if your company offers you a free training course, that is an opportunity. If a new English podcast appears online, like this one, that is an opportunity. An opportunity is a door that is open in front of you. The only question is whether you will walk through it.
And many people stand in front of that open door, but they do not walk through it. They look at the door and they say, I am too old for this. Or they say, other people my age are already so far ahead. Or they say, I should have done this 10 years ago. Do you recognize that feeling? I do, because I felt it myself.
Tell us more, Abel. I think our listeners really want to hear your story.
Of course. So when I was younger, I had many dreams. I wanted to speak English fluently. I wanted to travel. I wanted to have a job that I truly loved. But life happened, as it always does. I got busy, I had responsibilities, years passed, and one day I looked in the mirror and I thought, Abel, you are not young anymore. The people who are successful started when they were 20, and you're already in your 40s. It is too late for you.
And that is such a common feeling. That feeling has a name. We call it regret. Regret means feeling sad about something you did not do or something you did wrong in the past. For example, I regret not studying harder when I was in school, or I regret not telling my friend how much they meant to me. Regret is a very heavy emotion. It can feel like you are carrying a big, heavy bag everywhere you go.
That is exactly the right image, Anna. It feels like a heavy bag. And the problem with regret is that it keeps you looking backward. When you're always looking backward, you cannot see what's in front of you. You cannot see the open door. You cannot see the opportunity. You are too busy staring at the past.
And the past cannot be changed. This is an important truth that we must accept. You cannot go back and make different choices. You cannot undo the years that have passed. But, and this is the key point, the future has not happened yet. The future is empty. The future is like a clean white page, and you are holding the pen.
I love that image, a clean white page. When I finally stopped looking at my past mistakes and started looking at what I could still do, everything changed for me. I started learning English again. I started listening to podcasts just like this one. I started reading simple books. And slowly, my English began to improve. Not because I was young, not because I had a special talent, but because I made a decision.
That decision is everything. And this brings us to one of the most important ideas in today's conversation. We want to talk about the difference between two phrases. The first phrase is one day. The second phrase is day one.
These two phrases sound so similar, but they're completely different in meaning. One day I will learn English. One day I will start exercising. One day I will write that book. One day is a dream without a date. One day means someday, maybe, if things are perfect, if I have enough time, if I feel ready.
And the sad truth is that one day very often never comes.
But day one is different. Day one means today. It means right now, with whatever you have, wherever you are. Today is day one of my English journey. Today is day one of my new habit. Today is day one of my better life. Day one is a decision. Day one is an action. Day one is powerful because it happens in the present, not in some imaginary future.
And I want to be honest with you. Day one is not comfortable. Day one feels uncertain. Day one feels small and a little embarrassing sometimes, because when you're a beginner, you do not feel confident. You make mistakes, you don't know everything, and your brain says, wait until you are ready. Wait until the moment is perfect.
But here's what we know about the perfect moment. It does not exist. The perfect moment is a story we tell ourselves so that we don't have to be brave. The perfect moment is the enemy of progress. And progress, which means moving forward, moving closer to your goal, progress is what actually changes your life.
So we're asking you today, right now as you listen to this, to decide that today is your day one. It doesn't matter if you have tried before and stopped. It doesn't matter if you feel uncertain. The only thing that matters is that you begin. Begin again if you need to. There is no shame in beginning again. In fact, beginning again shows strength. It shows you have not given up. It shows persistence.
Let's talk about that word, persistence. Persistence means continuing to do something even when it is difficult, even when you feel tired, even when you feel like giving up. Persistence is not about being perfect every day. Persistence is about continuing. A person who learns 5 new words every single day, even when they are tired, even when they don't feel like it, that person will learn 1,825 new words in 1 year. That is an incredible number, and they did it with just 5 words a day.
5 words a day. That is so important. I want to stay on this point because I think many people make a mistake when they plan to learn. They think, I will study for 4 hours this Saturday. And then Saturday comes, and they're busy, or they're tired, or something happens, and they don't study at all. And then they feel guilty, and then they wait for the next big block of time. And weeks pass, and months pass, and nothing changes.
Small wins are so much more powerful than big plans. A small win is a little success every day. Learning 5 new words is a small win. Listening to 1 English podcast is a small win. Reading 1 short article in English is a small win. These small wins build your confidence, they build your skill, and they build your habit. And habits, once they are strong, become automatic. You don't even have to think about them anymore.
Think about brushing your teeth. Do you think about brushing your teeth every morning? Probably not. You just do it because it's a habit. It's automatic. That's the power of small actions repeated every day. If you listen to this podcast every day, after 1 month, it will feel strange not to listen. It will become part of your day, and your English will grow without you even feeling like you're working hard.
And this is connected to something very important, the idea of milestones. A milestone is a significant point in your journey. In the past, when people traveled long distances by road, they put stones on the side of the road to mark every mile. So a milestone was a marker that told you how far you had come. In life, a milestone is a moment when you can look back and say, wow, I've come a long way.
Your first milestone might be understanding this entire podcast without stopping. That is a milestone. Your second milestone might be the first time you speak English with a real person and they understand you. That is a milestone. Your third milestone might be when you watch an English movie and you understand more than 50% without subtitles. These are all milestones, and every milestone gives you energy to continue.
Now, let's talk about something that many learners struggle with, the environment. Your environment means the place and the people around you. If you live in a country where English is not spoken, it can feel very lonely on your language journey. You might think, how can I improve my English if nobody around me speaks it?
I understand this completely. When I started my English journey seriously, I lived in a small town where almost nobody spoke English. There were no English classes nearby, there were no conversation groups. It felt very isolated. That word, isolated, means alone, separated from other people or things that could help you.
But here is something important to understand. In 2026, your physical environment is only part of your world. You also have a digital environment, and your digital environment is something you can change completely right now, today, for free. You can change the language on your phone to English. You can follow English-speaking channels on YouTube. You can listen to English podcasts like this one. You can join online English communities where people from all over the world practice together.
I did all of these things. I changed my phone to English. At first it was confusing. I did not understand every word, but every day I saw English words in context. I learned what settings means. I learned what notifications means. Small things, but real things. Real English that I used every day. And slowly, my brain started to feel comfortable with English. It stopped feeling like a foreign language and started feeling familiar.
Familiar is a beautiful word. It means something that feels known to you, something that does not feel strange anymore. When English starts to feel familiar, that is when real fluency begins. Fluency does not come from one big moment. Fluency comes from thousands of small moments of contact with the language. Every time you hear English, every time you read English, every time you speak English, even just to yourself, you are building familiarity.
Speaking to yourself is something I want to mention because I know it might sound strange, but talking to yourself in English is one of the most powerful and free things you can do. When you are cooking, describe what you are doing in English. I am cutting the vegetables. I am adding oil to the pan. The food smells good. When you are walking outside, describe what you see. There are many trees here. The sky is blue today. I can hear children playing. This is called thinking in English. And when you can think in English, speaking to others becomes much easier.
Now, let's talk about breaking old patterns. A pattern is something you do regularly, something that is part of your routine. We all have patterns. Some patterns are helpful, some patterns are not. One of the most common unhelpful patterns in the modern world is what we call scrolling. Scrolling means moving through social media on your phone for a long time, often without a real purpose. You open the app, you scroll, you look at videos, you look at pictures, you scroll some more, and 30 minutes pass, maybe 1 hour. And when you stop, you do not feel better. You actually sometimes feel worse.
I was a very serious scroller. I am not ashamed to say it. I would spend 2, sometimes 3 hours a day on social media, and one day I did a simple calculation. 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's 14 hours a week. In 1 month, that's 56 hours. In 1 year, that's almost 700 hours. And what was I doing with those 700 hours? Nothing. Nothing that helped me grow. Nothing that moved me closer to my goals.
700 hours is an incredible amount of time. Imagine what you could do with 700 hours of English practice. You could read dozens of books in English. You could watch hundreds of hours of English content. You could have thousands of English conversations. You could become a very confident English speaker in that time. The time is there. The question is what we choose to do with it.
And this is where breaking old patterns becomes so important. You do not have to stop using your phone completely. That's probably not realistic. But you can make a small trade. Instead of scrolling for 30 minutes in the morning, you listen to this podcast. Instead of watching a random video before bed, you watch a short English lesson. Instead of opening social media the moment you feel bored, you open an English vocabulary app. Small trades, small changes, but over time, those small changes create a completely different life.
This is the idea of replacing one habit with a better one. Your brain loves habits because habits save energy.
Your brain does not want to make new decisions every minute. It prefers to repeat patterns. So the key is to make your new positive habit as easy as possible. Put the podcast app on the front screen of your phone. Put your English notebook next to your bed. Make the good habit easier to do than the bad habit. And slowly, your brain will choose the good habit automatically.
I want to do something a little different now. I want to guide you through a short exercise. We call it the Future Self exercise. This is a thinking exercise, a visualization, which means using your imagination to see something clearly in your mind. Are you ready? Let's do this together.
Close your eyes if it is safe to do so. If you are driving or doing something important, please keep your eyes open and just listen. But if you can, take a comfortable breath and imagine this with us.
It is 1 year from today. 12 months have passed. Every day for the past year, you did something small but consistent. You listened to English for at least 15 minutes. You learned a few new words. You spoke English to yourself. You watched one English video. You read a few sentences, small things, but every single day. Now, in your imagination, you meet someone new. They ask you about yourself, and you answer them in English. And the words come. Not perfectly, maybe, but they come. And the other person understands you, and you feel something that you have not felt in a long time. You feel proud.
That feeling of pride is available to you. It is waiting for you at the end of a year of small, daily actions. Your future self is not a fantasy. Your future self is simply your present self with more practice, more experience, and more confidence. The only thing separating you from your future self is time and the choice to use that time well.
I want to tell you what happened to me after my day 1. I started small, very small. I listened to 15 minutes of English every morning. I wrote down 5 new words every day. I spoke English to my reflection in the mirror, which felt very strange at first, I will tell you. But after 3 months, I noticed something. English was starting to feel familiar. I was starting to dream in English sometimes. I was understanding more of the songs and movies I loved.
And after 6 months?
After 6 months, I had my first real English conversation with a person from another country, online. We talked for 20 minutes. I made many mistakes. I did not know every word, but I communicated. I expressed myself. That person understood me, and I understood them. And after the conversation ended, I sat quietly for a moment, and I thought, Abel, you thought it was too late, but look at you now.
That is the transformation. And transformation is a word we should talk about because it is one of our key words for today. Transformation means a complete change, not a small adjustment, but a deep, meaningful change in who you are and how you live. A caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. A dark, cold winter transforms into a warm, bright spring. And a person who believes their time has passed can transform into a person who is fully alive and moving forward.
Transformation does not happen in one dramatic moment. It happens in the quiet, invisible moments. The moment you choose to listen instead of scroll. The moment you choose to say one sentence in English instead of staying silent. The moment you choose to write down one word instead of forgetting it. Those quiet moments are where transformation begins. They are the seeds of a completely different future.
And we want to talk about potential. Potential means the ability to become something great in the future. Every person has potential. It is not something that belongs only to young people. A 60-year-old person has potential. A 50-year-old person has potential. You have potential. Right now, today, your potential does not expire like food in a refrigerator. It does not disappear when you reach a certain age. It is always there, waiting for you to use it.
There's a woman I read about who learned to paint at the age of 73. She became a well-known artist. There's a man who learned to swim at the age of 60 and then swam across a large lake to celebrate his 65th birthday. There are people all over the world who started new careers, learned new languages, found new loves, built new businesses after the age of 40, 50, 60, and beyond. These are not exceptions. These are examples of what is possible when a person decides that their story is not over.
Your story is not over. Let us say that again, clearly and slowly. Your story is not over. You are not in the final chapter. You may be starting a new chapter. And often, the most important chapters in a book are not at the beginning. They're in the middle, when the character has grown, has experienced difficulty, has learned from their mistakes, and is finally ready to do something truly meaningful.
That is you. You are that character. And the mistakes you made, the time you feel you wasted, the opportunities you feel you missed, those are not evidence that your story is a failure. Those are the experiences that have shaped you, that have made you wiser, that have given you a depth and a perspective that a 20-year-old simply doesn't have yet.
Wisdom, which means deep understanding that comes from experience, is one of the greatest advantages of age. You know things now that you did not know before. You have survived things. You have grown. And that wisdom, combined with the energy and the intention to move forward, is an incredibly powerful combination.
So what is your next step? After this podcast ends, after you turn off your phone or close your laptop, what will you do? We want you to do one thing, just one. Write down on a piece of paper or in your phone 3 words. Today is day 1. That's all, just those 3 words. And then tomorrow, do one small thing in English, just one. And the day after that, do one more small thing. And keep going. Keep going even when you feel uncertain. Keep going even when you make mistakes. Keep going especially on the days when you feel like stopping.
Because the people who change their lives are not necessarily the most talented, they are not always the smartest or the youngest. The people who change their lives are the ones who simply do not give up. They persist. And persistence, as we said, means continuing even when things are difficult. Persistence is available to every single person. It requires no special talent. It only requires a decision that you make again every single morning when you wake up.
I want to close with something personal. When I was in my darkest moment of regret, feeling like time had passed me by, someone said to me something that I never forgot. They said, "Abel, the fact that you still care means it's not over. The moment you stop caring is the moment it's really too late. But caring means you still have fire, and fire means you can still move."
That fire in you, that desire to be better, to speak English, to change something in your life, that is not weakness. That is strength. That is the proof that you are alive and that you have not given up. As long as you are breathing, as long as you wake up in the morning and you feel that small desire to do something more with your life, it is not too late.
It is not too late to learn English. It is not too late to change your career. It is not too late to travel to new places. It is not too late to make new friends. It is not too late to become the person you always imagined you could be. The world is waiting for you, and we, Anna and I, we are rooting for you every single step of the way.
We are so grateful that you spent this time with us today. Every minute you invested in listening to this podcast was a minute of English practice, a minute of growth, and a minute toward your better future. Do not underestimate that. Do not ever underestimate the power of showing up, even on a small day, even on a hard day.
If today's episode helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Share it with a friend who's feeling stuck. Share it with a family member who has a dream they've been afraid to start. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply say to another person, "Hey, I heard something today that made me think of you. Here it is."
And to you, our wonderful listener, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, whatever season of life you are in, remember these words. Today is day 1. Your story is not finished. Your potential is still there, and it is absolutely, without any question, not too late. Thank you so much for listening to The English Journey. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. Keep going, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourselves.